lazy man's dinner tonight, and I'm also prepping dinner for tomorrow night, so I thought I would just show you how I do both at the same time. I'm also filming for a video for YouTube, and so it might be a little weird. Anyway, so I am making my lazy man's one pan dinner. I'm going to be having tofu. A lot of people are afraid of soy, so we're going to talk about soy. I'm also going to be having roasted vegetables. I have my vegetables behind me. I have cabbage and carrots. I have a bell pepper. I should throw in an onion, and I have broccoli. And I'm going to just be using coconut aminos. I don't know if you're familiar with coconut aminos. It's made with coconut nectar, organic coconut blossom nectar, water, and sea salt. And so this is kind of a clean teriyaki sauce. It tastes a lot like teriyaki sauce, but it's a lot cleaner. It is gluten-free. I just feel good about eating it, and when I'm feeling lazy, it's a great way to flavor my food. So the first thing I'm going to do, because some of you are not familiar with tofu, is I'm going to, first when you cut it open, it is in a liquid. Make sure you buy organic soy anytime you buy soy. Oop, I'm spilling some on my cutting board there. But I just want to drain that liquid off. I like the extra firm tofu. It comes in several different types. So a lot of people are afraid to eat tofu. A study came out a long time ago about how soy has estrogens in it. And while it does have estrogens, it has a plant estrogen, not a mammalian estrogen. And so what was thought was that because some cancers, breast cancer, some colon cancers, some of those are linked to high estrogen or estrogen dominance. The thought was if you eat foods that are high in estrogens, that will increase the estrogen in the body and increase your chances of cancer. So that was only one study, and many, many studies have come out since then showing that mammalian estrogen is different from plant estrogen. And so estrogen is actually very safe and protective. And they're showing a lot of studies where it's actually a cancer fighter and protects you from cancer because it can block estrogen from getting into cells to help prevent estrogen dominance. So I drained off the liquid, and now I'm just going to run my knife through it. I could cut it and just have it as a slab. If I just pull that out, then I have slices. Can you see that? If I want to cook it kind of like a chicken, like you would do a slice of chicken or a slice of pork. And so that's one way that we can do it. I'm gonna stick it back in there just to make it easier to cut. I can run my knife back through it this way. It'll be more like a, I hate to use it, but chicken finger size, which is nice. Or if you want to cut it kind of like a stir fry, which is what I want, this isn't the way I normally do it. I will stand it up and cut it, and then I end up with these even sized cubes, so it kind of looks like a stir fry. And so I'm going to put all of these little pieces on my paper towel. I have a plate here with layers of paper towel on it because I'm going to press all this extra liquid out. Press that liquid out. There we go. Get that out of my way. I'm making a mess. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so you see I have the tofu on top of the paper towels. I'm just going to spread it out. You can buy a tofu press. A lot of people have those. It is definitely not necessary. It may be convenient or easy, but this is perfectly easy as is. And so what I'm going to do is put it on my paper towels and forgot to pull one out. So let me grab another paper towel, put it on top. And now I'm just going to set another plate on top, something heavy to press it with. And so as you can see, I have them just kind of pressed there. All right, so while my tofu is sitting there pressing, I'm going to prep the rest of my dinner for tonight. So I'm having roasted vegetables. I have cabbage here. Cabbage is a cruciferous vegetable. Cruciferous vegetables are from the brassica family. They just have the name cruciferous because the flower is shaped kind of like a crucifix. I just cut the bottom of the cabbage off. So cabbages, dark leafy greens, very, very high in minerals. And what I like to do is kind of cut it. I'm not going to cut it in the center because then I hit the core. So I'm going to cut it to the side. See if I raise that up, you can see I missed the core. And now I'm going to cut that, just kind of quarter it and put that on my baking sheet. So I have a baking sheet here lined with parchment paper. And I'm just going to set it on top of that. And so I did that just to get around the core, just to keep from having to cut through it. And so now I'm going to cut again. And I'm going to quarter that until I get all of my cabbage chopped. Now, depending on how much cabbage you eat, your family may not eat a whole head of cabbage, and I probably won't either. And so I may just stop right there for now. So another thing I'm doing tonight is broccoli. So here is my broccoli. I'm going to cut the bottom off. Sometimes you can eat the stem, but sometimes it's a little tough, so I'm just going to cut that. And then I want it in bite-sized pieces. It's perfectly fine to eat the leaves. They'll taste kind of like kale chips when they roast. So let me cut that. And that, I could probably cut a little bit more, but that's probably small enough. Broccoli is also a cruciferous vegetable, a cancer fighter, very, very high in minerals. Why do I keep talking about minerals? The soils are very depleted these days from being over-farmed. And so it is important to eat as many things as we can with minerals. We need to eat more than they probably needed to eat years ago before all the lands were over-farmed. All right, I'm putting this on the same pan with my cabbage. And what else do I want for tonight? So I have vegetables out for tomorrow night too. Because while I'm chopping, I'm gonna go ahead and chop for tomorrow night's dinner as well. All right, so I have one more head of broccoli. That into bite-sized pieces, and I'm gonna throw the leaves on there again, and a little bit more. You can see I'm just being really rough chopping it. That was a weird way to say that. I'm just rough chopping it. It doesn't have to be neat and tidy. If you haven't had roasted broccoli, or you think you don't like broccoli, give it a shot. Roasting vegetables brings out a little bit of the sweetness. For people who, so some people say that cruciferous vegetables are a little bitter for them, and when you roast them, it brings out that sweetness, which takes away some of that bitterness. And so some people will like it roasted. Sometimes that's a good way to get your kids to start eating it. I could probably add a red onion to that. That would be pretty, add some color, and would also add some more flavor. And so for tonight's dinner, we're having the roasted vegetables, we're having the tofu, and then we're also having cauliflower rice. So let me grab the rice. I forgot to grab it, my cauliflower rice. I have it in the freezer. I'll show you what I have. So what I did is I put a head of cauliflower through my food processor to rice it. Put it on the shred blade, and then I stuck it in the freezer. Now what this is going to do, it kind of breaks those cell walls to make it tender. So all I have to do to have cauliflower rice is pour enough on a plate, and I can put it in the dehydrator to warm it up. I can put it in a skillet to warm it up if I want to make something like a fried rice. It just needs to be warmed up, and it's already going to be soft. I don't even have to worry about cooking it. And so that's what I'm using for my rice tonight. So we're going to have the cauliflower rice, the roasted green vegetables, and the tofu, and then we can just drizzle it with cocoa aminos. Oh, and then the last few minutes of roasting, I'm going to add these tiny tomatoes. Can you see them? I don't want to put them in the beginning because they'll just kind of dissolve, and so I'll wait until about 5 minutes before I pull the pan out, and then I'll add them so they'll still be kind of whole. You'll still know it's a tomato. And the last thing I'm going to do for tonight's dinner is chop some green onion. So tomorrow night I'm having a vegan sushi. I don't know how many of you have cooked, or well, I guess you say cooked. Had vegan sushi. If you've made your own, it's really easy. Gonna have to demo how to make it tomorrow night because we're eating it tomorrow night. But I'm gonna go ahead and prep everything tonight to make tomorrow night that much easier. So when you make sushi rice, if you buy it at the store, is a very highly processed, polished white rice, which can raise blood sugar levels. And so you want to think about that before you use a sushi grade rice. If you use a brown rice, that will work to make it a little bit stickier. Soak it and cook it a little bit longer, and to flavor it right, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar to it just to give it that flavor. So my rice is soaking. And then you can also use the cauliflower rice. It will it might fall out. It might, when you roll your sushi, it may, it won't stick together as well unless you put some kind of sauce on there to help hold it together. So what I'm going to do is I want some green onion tomorrow night on my vegan sushi, but I also want some chopped green onions tonight on my lazy man tofu dish. So first thing I'm going to do is chop off these ends, and these little ends can go into my freezer bag for my vegetable broth. I am going to, I don't want the whites raw. Oh, I'm going to eat them raw either way, aren't I? If I have a vegan sushi or chopped. You know what? I'm going to cut the whites off and throw them on my pan to roast. For the sushi, I like it to be kind of a long piece. So I cut my green onion to about this size. And now I'm going to cut that in half. And I can separate it, and then I have these little green onion strips, and so that will be good on my vegan sushi. So I have a little pan here that I can put my vegetables on for sushi night. And green onions are fabulous for you. They are from the allium family, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. And so eat onions and garlic as often as you can. There we go. So I have my green onions for tomorrow night. Tonight I want to sprinkle some green onion on top of my dinner. So I'm going to cut the kind of dried ends off the top, and then I'm just going to finely chop some green onion to sprinkle on top of tonight's dinner. Get a little plate to put those on. Ooh, the green onions are even going to make me cry. All right, so that is ready for me to put on tonight's dinner. And to finish prepping for tomorrow night's dinner, I'm going to just slice the green onion. Oop, I missed one. A little bit more to go in tomorrow night's vegan sushi. So in our vegan sushi, we're going to have carrots, bell peppers, cucumbers, the green onion, and avocado. I'm not going to slice the avocado until right before we roll it because I don't want it to turn brown. I could probably slice it and then freeze it. Did you know you can freeze avocado? It freezes very well. There we go. So there is my green onion for tomorrow night. I also, oh, I forgot I want carrots. I want to roast some carrots for tonight. I'm going to cut off this end, and this end can go in my freezer bag. Put that over here. That can go in my freezer bag for my broth. My daughter likes the carrots to be pretty big when I roast them, so I'm going to cut them pretty big. This is a lot bigger than I would normally do. I like to do them kind of small. All right, so I'm going to probably cut those in half. There we go. That will give us a little bit more color. So now I have green, I have orange, I have red, and I'll have white from the cauliflower. There we go. So for the sushi, I have these bell peppers. We grow these here on our farm. They're fabulous. And I didn't show you what I did, but I cut at an angle where I would miss the seeds. I didn't want to cut into the seeds because that can make a mess. So I'm just going to kind of cut around and aim for the membrane. There we go. All the seeds came out in one, and I'm left with these bell pepper strips. Now for vegan sushi, I'm going to cut that. I want it to be about the same length. I didn't do a very good job, but about the same length as my green onion. I want all of my foods to be about the same length. Just put that here. And you can see I'm just running my knife back and forth to thinly slice it. These peppers are a little bit awkward to cut compared to the big fat ones at the grocery store. There we go. Oh, and cucumber. So tomorrow night's vegan sushi will be cucumber, carrot, bell pepper, green onion, and avocado. And sometimes we'll even put tofu in there. Sometimes we'll put roasted sweet potato, like sweet potato fries in there. That's really good. All right, so I also want a carrot, and so I want to cut it really small too. I want it to be about that same size too. So I'm going to cut about that same length. Then I'm going to cut just a small piece off the side so it will lay flat. You see that? So I just cut this part off. And then I'm going to thinly slice it. I'm using I call it the rainbow. When I taught kids how to cook, we would use the rainbow to slide your knife under there just so that you miss your fingers. Don't want to hit any fingers. And then you can stack them and thinly slice again, and you end up with pieces that match the bell pepper and the green onion. So all of those will go into our vegan sushi. So you don't have to watch me chop all of those. I'll show you how I do the cucumber. I'm going to cut the end off. I'm going to cut a piece about that same length again. And then I don't want the seeds. And so I'm going to stand it up where I can see the seeds and just kind of cut around the seeds. You can eat the seeds, but because I'm using this for tomorrow night's dinner, I want to miss the seeds so that the cucumber stays nice and crispy. And then I'm just going to run my knife so you can see all of my pieces are about the same. So I'm going to keep doing that, but you don't have to watch me doing that. And so I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Back to our tofu dinner. After I finish this piece, I have to get it out of the way. The green onions to get to me. Okay. So I'm going to keep chopping, and then I'll have my vegetables ready for my sushi night. And here is my sheet pan of vegetables for tonight. Cabbage, broccoli, and carrots. Remember, in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to add these tomatoes. I'm not putting any oil in them. I could put some salt and pepper, but I think I'd rather just put that on later. And I'm just going to drizzle cocoa aminos on top at the table. And I'm going to thaw out some of my cauliflower rice to put on the bottom. So it'll be a lot like a stir fry. Okay, so with the tofu, switching gears, let me move that out of the way. Let's look at the tofu. So I've chopped and pressed the tofu. And all I'm going to do is put it on another sheet pan. There we go. If it would fit next to the vegetables, I'd put it next to the vegetables just to be extra lazy, but it won't. So there we go. Our lazy man's dinner. So I'm gonna, I'll put it all together to put the cocoa aminos on top. I'm going to sprinkle the coconut aminos on top. This one's Simple Truth, but Bragg's has one as well. I just kind of drizzled it on top. And I'm just going to let it sit until I am ready to put it in the oven. And I'm going to roast it at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes. The same with the vegetables. So everything's going to go in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, sometimes people will marinate a lot longer than this. These will marinate for about 20 minutes. And that would take up more flavor, which would be good. With tofu, I prefer it to be kind of crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. And so I want to cook it a little bit longer at a higher heat. And so 425 would be really good, but you want to watch it. You don't want it to end up like croutons. And so just watch your timing on that. Anyway, so tonight's dinner. Lazy man's tofu. I have my roasted vegetables on top of my thawed out cauliflower rice, my roasted tofu, and I'm going to sprinkle it with the green onions. And tomorrow night, my veggies are going to be chopped for my sushi rice. I'm going to cook my sushi. And so if I don't feel like eating sushi tomorrow night, I could just make it all into a salad because I have all these vegetables like a salad. I can put cocoa aminos. I can put the what am I forgetting? I'll have the nori. I could tear up nori sheets and the rice and the vegetables, sprinkle some sesame seeds on top, and then drizzle some cocoa aminos. Sushi salad. Anyway, let me know if you try this recipe. I'll post a photo after I cook it. And like and share my videos. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm back for day 2. So last night I had the poor man's tofu, and tonight I'm going to be rolling the sushi. And so I meant to cut my avocado before I came on, but all I'm doing is I put the knife in, I'm going to roll the avocado around to open it up, and then I'm going to cut that in half, peel the skin off instead of scooping with a spoon because I want that dark green color. You see the dark green? Lots of nutrients in that dark green color. To get the pit out, I'm going to press my knife into the pit and it will lift right off. And then this avocado is perfect. Cut it in half again, peel it off, and peel it off. And so I'm making vegan sushi. So yesterday you saw me chop the bell pepper, the green onion, the carrot, and the cucumber. I also cooked, this is sushi rice. Once again, that is not a healthy choice. I'm not eating it, but my daughter is, and that's all right. She's going to be eating all of these vegetables with it. So I'm going to be using some Napa cabbage. I'm going to put mine in Napa cabbage. With the nori, which I'll show you the brand of nori that I bought. This is an organic brand that I actually found at Walmart. Now, when you buy seaweed, I did not check where it came from. You want to check the sources. If you order it online, I know Maine Coast is a good one. And I want to say the other one is Emerald something. If anyone knows, if you'll type it in the comments or the chat. Once again, I am live and recording at the same time for YouTube. All right, so I have a towel here. Half is wet and half is dry because I want dry hands when I'm handling the nori, but then my hands are going to get kind of sticky from the rice as well. So here is my avocado. I just sliced it. Everything's about the same size. I also have some cooked edamame here. This is just shelled edamame. Now I bought it frozen in a bag, and it said that you can microwave it in the bag. Don't do that. Microwaving in the plastic is not a good idea. So I just put some water in the bottom. I don't know if you can see water in the bottom. And I did still cook it in the microwave, but I didn't in the plastic. Now I could have steamed it if I wanted to, but I actually don't mind using the microwave. Okay, so this is the nori that I have. It says organic. Let me see where it came from. It doesn't tell me. Anyway, I have my nori. And some people put one side down or the other side down. It's rough on one side, shiny on the other. It doesn't matter to me. And what I'm going to do to spread the rice, because it is sticky, I'm going to dip my hands in some water. And then I'm going to spread the rice out. Once again, I'm not going to eat the rice. It's not a healthy choice, but my daughter is. And I'm going to show you two different ways, because I know if you eat sushi in a restaurant, sometimes they have the rice on the outside. So I'm going to show you how to do that and how they even put sesame seeds on the outside. And we like to do that too. It does take a few minutes to press the sushi into the nori. The kids love to do this. When I taught cooking classes, the kids were great at this. It looks difficult and fancy. We think you have to have a sushi chef make these for us, and it's actually not that difficult. Okay, so I could cover the whole thing, but I'm not going to. She doesn't need that much rice in each roll. And you can see this is why I have the towel that is half wet, half dry, because I have rice all over my fingers. And so I'm going to dip them in here, kind of rinse them in the water, and dry my hands before I grab my vegetables. Now, I could have put roasted tofu in here. Before we gave up animal products, we would put smoked salmon in here. Now, if you can get sushi grade fish and feel safe enough with that, you can do that. Where I live, I don't think I could get anything sushi safe. So I'm going to just put a line of the green onion and a line of the bell pepper, then the carrot. Squish that all in. Then the cucumber. Sometimes I'll put sweet potato fries. I just slice them like French fries and roast them in the oven. And that is really good in here. I should have done that. Sometimes I'll cut tofu in long strips like this and roast it. And that's good as well. And I'm going to put a line of edamame in here as well. I could leave it on the outside or put it on the inside. They may fall out. We'll see how this goes. I don't think I've ever put edamame in here before. All right, so what I'm going to do, hopefully you can see, I'm just folding it over, folding the nori over. See, I don't even have a roller mat. You don't need a roller mat. And I'm just kind of pinching while I roll, and I'm squeezing in. So squeeze in and pinch, squeeze in and pinch. And when I get to the end, see if I can lift it up. There's nothing here on this end. This is where I'm going to be taping it. So think of an envelope. This is that flap on the envelope. I'm going to put a line of water on here, and because it's dry, it's going to stick. And so let me set it back down. I want it to be good and tight. So I'm going to put a strip of water right along the edge there, and it is going to glue it just like an envelope. I'm going to roll over it a little bit, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see, a little bit more. Doing it live, it's not going to work, is it? Okay, it should. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut it. Let's see how this goes. Doing it live. There we go. You want a really sharp knife when you cut it. My edamame's kind of falling out. Now, if you didn't want to use rice, you could use quinoa. I could have used brown rice. Or just leave the rice out. It'll just be a lot skinnier unless you put lots of veggies in there, which there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm afraid to cut this next one. I was trying to make them all even so they would be nice and pretty. There we go. Set them down. See if I can get another one. That one's kind of unwrapping a little bit. Let's see if I can. There we go. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to make sauce too. I'm not going to actually make them. I'm just going to tell you about some sauces. So seaweed, nori is seaweed. Is very high in minerals. It's an excellent source of iodine. And it's not like taking supplemental iodine, which you could have too much in your body. It is natural. It's going to be absorbed if you need it or not if you don't. And so seaweed is also full of all of your minerals. And so it's an excellent way to get your minerals. Edamame is soy. I talked about soy earlier, and soy, the studies that show the positive benefits are actually from the older soybeans. So if you have dried soybeans and then you cook them like you cook any other dried bean, they're delicious. They taste like any other white bean. The edamame still has benefits. It's just the studies were always done on the older soybeans. I don't know why they don't sell soybeans regularly, because they are actually delicious. Okay, so I'm going to show you another one with the rice on the outside. So I have my nori. I'm going to start exactly the same. So you notice I cut the avocado on the plate and not on the nori, and not on the cutting board. It's because I didn't want the cutting board to get wet, because the nori will stick to the cutting board if the cutting board is wet. Okay, so wet my fingers. I grab my rice. So this is great. Kids love to play with their food. I love to play with my food. And then, so I'm going to stop once I get the rice on here. For when a roll that has the rice on the bottom, on the outside, you do want to get a little closer to the edge. Remember on the last one I really only did the rice in the middle. So here we go, I only get a little bit more. A little closer. I still need that envelope space, so I don't want to go all the way to the edge because I'm going to need it to glue somewhere. There. All right. Rinse my fingers, and then I'm going to show you how to put seeds on the outside to make it even fancier. Rinse my fingers. I can't get all that rice off. That is some sticky rice. Let me grab my Napa cabbage. I washed it and laid it over here. So one thing that we could do is put Napa cabbage inside, just to have an extra layer of greens. I've had a lot of people ask me how to add more greens, and so that would be one way. Okay, so I'm going to slide my nori off to the side and put on my cutting board, I'm putting a layer of, this is everything bagel sesame seeds, so I don't know how that's going to taste on a sushi roll. Just some regular sesame seeds would probably be better, but these are delicious. If you haven't tried these, oh, this is absolutely fabulous on anything. Avocado toast, baked potatoes, stir fry, anything, everything bagel, sesame seed. It's from Simply Organic. Okay, so I put a layer, so let me hold it up so you can see. A layer of the sesame seeds down on my cutting board. I'm going to flip my nori over on top of that and just press down. So then when I lift it back up, you can see it's got the seeds on there. And so I lift it up and look and go, oh, I missed some. Let me see if I can glue some more on. So something else that's really fun that kids like is Rice Krispies, which sounds crazy. Also not nutritious, but they are fun to put on sushi. Okay, so here is my nori with the rice on it. And so I'm going to keep the rice on the bottom, and this time so it looks fancier with the rice on the outside, I'm just going to put everything, line it back up again. So I have my line of green onions. Can you see, or did I block? I blocked everything. My line of bell pepper. My line of carrots. My stomach's rumbling. I'm getting hungry. My line of cucumber. I could put my Napa cabbage right here, just right on top and roll it up. I'm gonna leave it out of this one. What am I forgetting? Avocado. And the edamame. So you can see the edamame actually did stay in there. Can you see? Okay. A line of edamame, shelled. If you buy the one with the shell, don't eat the shell. All right, dry my hands so that it doesn't stick to my fingers. And now once again, I'm gonna roll it. This is gonna be a little bit more difficult with the rice on the outside, but you can see I'm rolling it, and then the rice is gonna be right on the outside. So let's see how this works. Doing it live. Roll it, and then I'm just kind of rolling over the seam to make it stick. And so I can leave it like that and not press my luck. Can you see? But I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Let's see what happens. So my really sharp knife, I'm slicing through. There we go. There's one. Slice through the next one. So I didn't talk about the health benefits of the rest, and sometimes y'all like to hear that. So the carrots are loaded with beta carotene, which is a precursor to vitamin A, which is fabulous for your immune health. People with autoimmune illnesses are usually deficient in vitamin A, and so you want to eat these orange and red vegetables. So carrots is an excellent way to get vitamin A, or carrot juice is really good. We're not putting carrot juice in our sushi. Avocado, people are afraid to eat avocado, but it's a very healthy fat in the avocado and loaded with fiber, and so it feeds your microbiome as well. So I'm not telling you to eat an entire avocado, but a quarter of an avocado. Put that on something that is wonderful. Put it in your sushi. I told you the seaweed, the nori, is high in minerals. The edamame, we talked about soy earlier or yesterday, depending on which video you're listening to. Once again, the white rice is not the healthiest, but I'm letting my daughter have it because she's eating all these other vegetables. Okay, I'm rinsing my fingers again so I can hold up our sushi. How fabulous does that look? And so I'm not going to eat the rice. So one thing I could do is roll it up, but you can see it would be really skinny without the rice. And so I'd prefer not to do that. I could put a Napa cabbage inside it and then the vegetables, and it might kind of fall apart. So I'm just going to make a boat out of this. And so in with my Napa leaf, I'm not going to eat the rice. I'm just going to put the edamame. I'm going to put some avocado and put the vegetables in it, and then drizzle a sauce and then eat it like a taco. And so that's how I'm going to eat mine. For sauces, I haven't asked my family what they want for a sauce, but I'm just going to tell you some that are delicious and super quick and easy. Yesterday or earlier, whatever video you're watching, I talked about coconut aminos. So one thing you can do is a couple of tablespoons of coconut aminos, the juice of a lime, and then grate about an inch of ginger. Just use a little microplane grater and grate some ginger. That makes a fabulous sauce if you like to dip in something that is a liquidy type sauce. Some people just use pickled ginger and soy sauce. Soy sauce is wheat. Tamari, that's what it is. Tamari is a cleaner soy sauce. Liquid aminos is even cleaner. And so I like liquid aminos in place of my soy sauce. Or something else you can do is make a peanut sauce or a tahini sauce or sun butter sauce. You would just combine a couple of tablespoons of tahini, the juice of a lemon, mince a garlic clove, and add your liquid aminos to that. If we use 2 tablespoons of this, I would only use a teaspoon of this. This is really salty. And then this could be peanut butter. This could be sun butter. This could be tahini. So once again, the juice of a lemon, a teaspoon of this. You may want to add some more after you taste it. One or two cloves of garlic, and a couple of tablespoons of tahini. And then shake it, and you have a thicker sauce, which would be a thicker dressing. Makes a fabulous salad dressing, both of those. The ginger, lime, cocoa aminos makes a wonderful salad dressing. The nut butter or seed butter sauce is a wonderful salad dressing as well. Also great with your sushi. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make vegan sushi, and I hope you share with me that you did. Like and share my videos, and thank you for watching. Enjoy!